Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Post Patrol. I am your host, Gunner the Runner, along with Adam, Jules, and Ty. Uh, Before I ask how you guys are doing today, somehow, some way, I'm forced to do it on this account. Don't know why, don't know how. So, yeah, this is very, very interesting. How we doing today, fellas?
Bit disturbed.
Uh,
Bit disturbed.
Um,
I'll explain why.
Alright.
Shocking news: LeVar and Tina got a divorce. Right? Heartbreaking.
we're forgeful today.
That's a good one. Tina and LeVar got a divorce, right? And this is important, fellas. You gotta get a prenup in order. Like, she took everything. She was even able to take
See?
one of his legs, and that's just heartbreaking.
Yeah, protect the rat.
protect the Rapham.
Protect the Rapham. Yes.
Protect the Rapham, yes.
Oh, fuck yeah. We are moved,
Uh,
fellas. We are fucking moved.
Protect the Roth and the Rapham.
Oh, this is fucking great. Jules, how are you?
I'm going. It's my birthday, so
Whoa!
it is what it is.
Yeah.
Happy birthday.
He's joining the Young Club. Let's go.
I've been bro. For the
Oh.
past 2 years, I've been
Hey, you call it unk. I call it life. Oh,
Happy
no.
birthday.
Words to live by. Thank you, Adam. You know them shits in the back, like those like back in like the 2010s. There's like live, laugh, love. I'm gonna get that quote on a fucking banner and just fucking put it in the back.
Nah, be DBD, except get it tatted on your forehead. Fuck it. Shout out
Yeah.
DBD.
Move.
First off, let's just get the Giannis trade out the way, fellas. How we feeling about Giannis to Miami? Um, does this move the Miami Heat at all going into the next season?
No.
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 They'll find a way to be in the play-in.
Absolutely.
We'll start off with you, Ty. Cause we've been talking about it a little bit on TikTok, but what's your perspective of the Giannis to Miami? Is this who wins this trade in your eyes as of right now, predicting wise?
As of right now, I think the Bucks didn't do too bad. They got good draft capital. They got Jaquez, Tyler Hero, that they can move forward with. I think if Giannis signs long term with the Heat, which he said he planned on doing, and the Heat can put some better spacing around him, uh, they could win this trade in the next couple of years for sure.
Okay, okay. What are your thoughts on the Miami Heat this season?
I think it's not going to look very functional on the offensive end. Lack of shooters on the team, a lot of ball dominant. Well, not a lot. Bam and Giannis, ball dominant, just like mid-range scores, rim runners. But defensively, Jules mentioned this. They are a scary defensive team, say the least.
All right, all right. Appreciate you, appreciate you. Let's go, Adam. Adam.
As of right now, like, if it'd been better for Giannis for his if he wanted like legacy wise to win to go to Boston, but Miami, this is an interesting situation. I think they have the best front line in basketball right now between Bam and Giannis. But that's not going to be their problem. Their problem is A, going to be their depth, and B, who are they going to fill out to basically to facilitate this offense. I think defensively they'll be awesome. I think Spolster will dial up their defense, but offensively, this is going to be a nightmare, like spacing wise. I think the tricky thing about Giannis is he's already gonna be, what is he, 32 going to be this year, right?
I believe so. Yeah, 32.
Yes.
So the window likely for him to be in his prime probably another 2 to 3 years, and then you'll probably start to see the decline. He's already. I don't know if he'll have a resurgence defensively with Bam in this team, since his offensive load might be kind of dimmed down a little bit. But I just think with his play that there's a finite amount of time before we start to see a decline. And if they can't bring in more players to offensively help them in the future, their cap's probably the first round. Not gonna lie. Outside of that, I don't see much from this team that's gonna move them enough to be a championship contender.
All right. Jules, how you feeling?
I've never seen the most lateral move in my life of a play-in team to continue to be a play-in team. Giannis Antetokounmpo, you did what was you thought was best for your career, but if we saw from how you drafted during the All-Star game, yeah, we all know that you're not a smart player, good dog. We all know. I'm sorry, I'm taxing Giannis for this. Not only is the spacing the problem, and I've had to talk to other Heat fans saying like, well, we had 40% 3-point shooters. We had Andrew Wiggins who shot 40% from three. The myth of shooting 40% from three on low volume is not moving anybody. Wiggins is a good 3-point shooter, but there needs to be movement shooting. There needs to be pull up shooting. There needs to be off the catch shooting. There's a whole bunch of like nuance without that kind of stuff. That's a problem. The bigger problem to me, you guys talk about spacing, is ball handling. Giannis is a ball dominant forward that needs the ball most of the time, absolutely. But how Eric Spoelstra ran that offense isn't like you're not dominating on the ball. So unless you're willing to completely change your offense again for a Giannis heliocentric type of like offense, I don't see how you guys could be successful offensively. Defensively, though, this is by far his best fit that he's had probably in his career. The only other argument is 2021. You have Bam as your rim protector. You have Davion Mitchell and Andrew Wiggins as your POA guys. And then we'll figure out who the hell their two is because we don't even know if Norman Powell is going to be there. He's probably going to be a sign and trade guy. So defensively, this is a good squad. Probably be 5, 6, 7th in defensive rating or something like that. But offensively, you're not beating a lot of these Eastern Conference teams that are just going to come back stronger than you. I'm sorry.
I'm in 100% agreement with that stuff. It's gonna be interesting, especially since they just re-signed Andrew Wiggins to around 20 mil a year for the next 2 years, right? Or 3 years actually, per
3,
year.
I believe.
Yeah, three because it's six. It was a 60 mil total, so 20 mil per year gives them a little bit of cap space to make some moves, but not enough for depth, so they still have to go for a bunch of mid-level exception guys and vet minimals. Really? I think this year is definitely going to be an experiment year. Could this future going into the future, could this move the Miami Heat? I think it could.
Can I give you a take really quick, Gunnar?
Yeah, go for it.
You said it. I think this is the only year that we're going to see Giannis and Bam on the same team.
I don't think that's crazy.
No, that's not crazy at all.
I think
because I was going to go into that.
By all means.
I just don't know what the move is exactly, but I'm honestly, I only think it might be this year. The issue is though, Pat Riley and how he values fucking Bam Adebayo. I'm sorry, but I just don't know how that fit works. Defensively, great. The fuck is Bam Adebayo jump shooting doing?
I had to hear today that apparently Bam's this great spacer because he shoots 35% above from three. It's like That's not
He
a
didn't
great
even do
shooter.
that. We just disproved
it's
that
like
before the show.
yeah, it's like dog. It's like come on, dude. What are we doing? Like even if he was like above 35% 3-point shooter, like there's got to be a consistent like you can't have like 40% here and then you're down to like 32. That's not a good shooter right there.
Yeah, I like stabilized shooters in my lineup. Is that essentially if we see somebody like a Lou Dort, who hopefully we get into to where okay, he's had a 32% year, a 40% year, back to 31, up to 35, to 40, down to 32. I'm just throwing out numbers to throw out
Inconsistent
numbers,
as
but
fuck.
that's inconsistent. That is a lot of shot variance, shot luck. Shout out to Adam. That is variance in your shooting. But if you're relatively around the same, 34, 35, 36, maybe you have a bad year, maybe you're 31, but you 34, 35. Okay, cool. At least I now know on volume that you're going to be stabilized enough that I can at least rely on you in some instances because that variance is now completely lowered and I can run a confident offense now knowing most of the outcomes of that guy in that lineup.
Oh yeah, for sure. Anything else on the Giannis to Miami before we move? Or actually, do you guys want to get into the Bucks situation real quick?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Sure.
Let's get
Please.
into Jules. You can start that off.
I liked this trade, but the only two things that are going to piss me off about the Bucks is if Tyler Hero plays a single minute with Kyle Kuzma because the baby mama situation removed on that. That's a real thing. They
Not
fucking
wrong.
hate each other, right?
Yep.
And the second reason why I don't know if I like this trade overall for the Bucks is because they got that overrated fuck Nate Amen at 13. They could have gotten anybody else to go in that
Not
pair
wrong.
with that lineup. I think Braxton. Goes with directly with their draft compensation, even though they already had the 13th pick. Braxton's going to be fantastic. I love him in that system. Taylor Jenkins is going to use him as a really good spacer. Him and was it AJ Green are going to probably be one of the best spacing duos in the NBA. But now we just kind of don't know what this is. This is kind of like a pish posh of just fucking everything. Turner, Ware, Braxton, KPJ, Ryan Rollins, Tyler Hero, AJ. It's just like it's a team. It is a team in the NBA. It's just they have no identity of what they're going to be. So I'm fine with it. It's just that I think they need to move off of Tyler to get more draft picks and maybe some decent role players, and then kind of see where you're at with your core of Ryan Rollins. I still argue KPJ and now their best center on the team, Kalel.
Yeah, no, for sure. Adam.
Well, I think it's kind of sad for Milwaukee getting rid of another franchise player, much like Kareem back in the day for trading him to the Lakers. I think they're kind of back into this like era of like the Michael Redd days, where it's like I think it's even worse than those days because it's like they're
Yeah.
going nowhere. They have no identity. Um, like what do you do if you're a Milwaukee fan? You're like, yeah, let's go watch Miles Turner play ball. Like, yay, let's it's gonna sell
That's
season.
great.
Mind you, guys, Adam is a Pacers fan, so he knows all about Miles Turner, bro.
Yeah, overrated. Sorry,
Miles
I'm just
Turner
mentioning it.
is also in trade talks right now. Just heads up.
I would not be
Very
shocked
true.
if they just move him. Like, I'm sorry, but like he's just not good enough. Like,
Yeah,
That's
I agree.
yeah, that's fair. Ty, what are your thoughts on the Bucks with this?
I think the best asset they got in this trade is Khalil Ware, and I'm excited to see him with a bigger role. The Heat, for some reason, were reluctant to play him, to start him. We discussed that in the season. I think he could be an elite five in the NBA, and I hope that that pans out. And I'm excited to see his improved role this season.
Yeah. No, I'm with that. I do think Tyler Hero gets traded even before the season starts. It's either that or Kuz, but I see more of the direction with how their Milwaukee is heading as a whole. Tyler gets traded probably to I'm gonna be honest. I think the Rockets are kind of a dark horse in getting Tyler just for spacing. Um, that's just me personally. I just don't know what assets they get like Houston has to give up other than fucking Kevin Durant and fucking Sengun at this point. Actually, I do. It's
Freddie.
Jabari. It's well, yeah, him too, and Jabari. Um, but at otherwise, Houston doesn't really have the picks. That or it's still Detroit as well because Detroit still needs the spacer in Hero. But I think this could be a good rebuild for Milwaukee if they do it right. Um, they just need to get the
I do
right
too.
pieces, and
Yeah.
especially with this past draft, Nate meant I do not think it is him. Just from what film I started watching after the draft and all that, and hearing it from you, I went back and I'm
I
like,
I
eh.
before we do like move on, this is my first year physically doing draft stuff and like writing notes down and all this kind of stuff. And I wasn't necessarily understanding why people were super low on Nate meant. I understand why now. Not only is he a just ill-advised shot IQ guy, he just provides fucking nothing other than that. And he's not even like the most again, efficiency is not the end all be all, but like a lot of his process is pretty fucking lame, dog. It's just not something that I think fits good basketball.
No, and
I'm
that's
sorry,
fair.
Nate, but
Uh, Zach, our boy, says the Bucks are making the playoffs without Giannis. Very hot, interesting take. I am moved. Um, Next we'll move on to the second trade that happened in this offseason that was huge. Which was Julius Randle.
oh gosh,
I'm
oh
joking.
god,
I'm not gonna get to the Julius Randle trade. Congrats to Retro though for getting a big man finally. You are no longer the Chicago
yeah,
Guns. That's that's
very true.
that's that's all we're gonna hit with that. But Lamelo Ball to Minnesota, fellas. How we feeling on that? We'll start off with Adam here.
Um, Dynamic offensive backcourt. I don't want to see them defensively. This is gonna be holy crap. Rudy Gobert is gonna have to carry them defensively because I don't know what they're gonna do now with Denver now that Nas Reed's gone. Um, just got worse. Um, they're still like the sixth seed, but they can't beat Denver anymore. You also traded for a point guard that is hurt and has off the court issues that probably don't want to get into. But again, like I'm just not really moved by this team anymore. It's like did you really you gained offensively, but defensively like you're now worse. So I don't know where they really go from here. I think this seals Ant leaving in the future. Not gonna lie.
All right. Jules.
Uh, as a basketball fit, uh, this is a match made in heaven. For Lamelo and Anthony Edwards, this is they Lamelo's going to enhance Anthony Edwards to the max. Um, so I'm very happy to see that. The discourse behind the Lamelo Ball, the player, other than the human, has been very weird to me because Lamelo is a good player. I do think he gets overrated a ton, a little bit, but as a impact player, I mean, we just saw Charlotte last year in the second half. The reason why they had number one offense is because Lamelo took that step back, decided to be way more of an advantageous creator for everybody involved, and they just started humming. So pairing that with Anthony Edwards as a dynamic scorer, like Adam said, is fantastic. The thing that has worried me the most about Minnesota is the trades. I mean, not the trades, the roster construction now going into the future because, again, they are still 6 seed, but they just can't beat Denver anymore. I'm a believer in that. And they have 30 million, maybe not even, working with in this offseason to go and try to find supplement impact players to help out defensively specifically on this team, unless they just go full-fledged offense and and if that's fine, but then at the end of the day, your head coach is still Chris Finch. So and your lead assistant just left for Portland. So unless a miracle happens, you're not getting an offensive guru. You're not getting Mike Malone. He's in UNC. So I'm skeptical of the Timberwolves. I think their offense is great and they're changing their identity, but I think there's a little bit too drastic of a change, and them completely selling their mortgaging their future. It's literally just what they're trying to LARP as the Knicks. I'm being so dead ass. They only have like one future first round pick of the next couple years.
It's 2030 or 2029.
So you sold your soul in a tougher conference that is not only getting still remaining competitive, is getting bigger, pause, and essentially to me, how Minnesota needs to be successful is outshoot them, actually have LaMelo be on the court and not get hurt, and have this offense be humming. But LaMelo's never made the fucking playoffs before. It's just such a weird thing. I don't. It's hard to process. But a basketball fit, this is fantastic. A team construction fit, this is piss. This is dog piss. I don't like this at all.
All right. Ty, what are your thoughts on the new Minnesota Hornets?
What the hell?
Move.
I don't have too much more to add other than what Adam and Jules said about the construction of the Timberwolves. I do think there's a big winner and a big loser in this trade. I think the big loser is Colin Knippel. I looked at some of his on-off stats. When he played with LaMelo, his three-point percentage was 48% in 1,400 minutes. Without LaMelo, it was 38, 10% lower in 1,100 minutes. So similar sample size and a 10% difference. And like relating that, the big winner is Anthony Edwards. I think the past couple seasons, he's jacked up his three-point volume, and he's done that creating his own three-point shots off the dribble. I think if the Timberwolves use LaMelo to create catch and shoot shots for Anthony Edwards to like match his desire to shoot more threes, he could be more effective. It will just make their offense more dynamic, and it won't be as many like individually created shots for Anthony Edwards. So offensively, I think this works out great for the Timberwolves. I'm very concerned for the Hornets. I'm confused. They just blew up their roster after the first glimmer of hope in 10 years. Yeah, obviously, defensively, the Timberwolves are going to struggle unless they can make some key additions.
Can I add on to?
Go ahead.
You know who Charlotte is now banking on? Because I did some research of like maybe a reason why, other than the character issues that and like the off court stuff with LaMelo. Because I think that's primarily the reason why they did it. They don't want somebody like that representing them, and it's quite unfortunate. But you know what I think that they genuinely believe in? Kobe White and Brandon Miller minutes.
I can see that.
If you go and look at LaMelo when he was on the court with Brandon Miller, Khan, and Miles Bridges, just go by effective field goal percentage. LaMelo Ball makes Khan, Miles, and I think Diabate, like he makes 4 out of the 5 guys better. You know who he doesn't make better? Brandon Miller.
Brandon Miller. Yeah.
You know who makes Brandon Miller
Kobe
significantly better? Kobe White.
It's
And
interesting.
it's a very weird dynamic. Like, even though it's low minutes, it's just like there's enough there to where I could see where they're going with it in terms of being able to shoot off the catch, shoot off the dribble, create opportunities. He just has a significantly higher effective field goal percentage with Kobe on the court with him than LaMelo Ball does. So I think this might be a soft reset, and if Charlotte doesn't go for a certain guard for a certain podcast host team, we will see Brandon Miller number one option minutes. And I don't know how I feel about that, but I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued by Charlotte.
Let's stay on Charlotte. Actually, I gotta give my take. Fuck, I'm out of it right now. Been a long day. Anyways, I think this is a win-win kind of for both teams in a way. Especially for Charlotte. I think at the time, I should say, I thought it was going in the direction for Charles Lee to move into a newer territory with the team that he wants to go in more of, which is a Joe Mazzulla way, as he is a disciple of Mazzulla, which is totally fine. He just also needs to get the defenders that also match that system as well to have a top offense and a top defense. But at the same time, the fit with LaMelo and Ant's gonna just be a fun watch, you know. My only issue with Minnesota is uh what role players they are going to sign as a whole. Um I think it's very interesting, especially with this year's free agency class. I think you gotta move off Rudy, but then Minnesota's defense turns to shit. Um, but at the same time, are you gonna bank on a 35-year-old to be able to hold that same defense? I'm not sure, and that is a pretty fucking big contract for a 35-year-old. So they're just in an interesting spot as a whole with how this roster is going to be constructed in the future, like you guys were saying. It's just if they have to move off Rudy in order to, I think, save Ant in Minnesota. Otherwise, it might be KG all over again. I could be wrong though. One can hope is crazy.
One can hope.
Poor Minnesota fans. Anyways. Anyway. Stay on the Charlotte Hornets then. Miles Bridges gets dealt to Phoenix Suns, fellas. We'll start off with Ty. Ty, what are your thoughts on Miles Bridges going to Phoenix?
Yeah, I think this goes hand in hand with Jules' theory of trying to save the team's PR image. I also think they were looking to just become the best three-point shooting team in the league with Grayson Allen. They added in yet another first-round pick in the trade, I believe, right? 2030 something.
Yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
This solidifies that they want to change the image of their team moving forward. They want to build around Brandon Miller, and they're not planning on winning anytime in the near future. Maybe they didn't see this LaMelo Ball centered team having like a deep playoff run, which makes sense. So they want to restructure and look for success 5 years from now. And that's just what this trade looks like to me.
All right. Jules, go for it.
Yeah. So for starters, he's been on here, but if you guys don't know me, we don't know ball. My co-host on there is a Phoenix Suns fan. And funny enough, he's also a Miles Bridges fan. So when I called my co-host Justin about this trade, he was ecstatic because the athleticism. Again, I'm talking about the basketball player, not the human being. Again, within the four courts. Um, the Miles Bridges is an incredibly athletic four. Yes, he doesn't necessarily space the floor well, but because of his efforts, he's a great offensive rebounder. He's a good guy in terms of having decent defensive traits. And Jornot just made that Phoenix defense into a legitimate defense with a whole bunch of nobodies. You had Devin Booker, Dylan Brooks, Royce O'Neal, Grace Allen, Mark Williams. And you made that into a really good defense. Now you're adding Miles Bridges, who's an athletic wing, who can crash your rebounds, who can face it a little bit, but I like this trade for both sides because identity wise, it keys in on what both want to do. Charlotte wants to shoot a whole bunch of a fuck ton of threes. Royce O'Neal is one of the best corner shooters in the NBA. Grayson Allen is one of the best catch and shoot players in the NBA. Plus, the Phoenix Suns, even though they don't have any first round picks anymore for God knows how long until whenever, they're clearly trying to identify that they want to be a defensively minded team to revolve around Devin Booker in that contract and basically have a decent offense here and there, but essentially great, like almost like a kind of like the grit and grind Grizzlies, to where you're just kind of grinding teams down because they have a lot of athletes that are smart IQ guys there, at least defensively. Um, I like it. I know people don't like Miles Bridges, but I think as a basketball player, I think he's fine, and he defensively he shows some things that move me. So I think this is a good trade nonetheless.
21 days, 21 nights, Adam. How we feeling?
Well,
That's crazy, by the way.
uh,
well, I think it's actually kind of it's this is funny because Phoenix has always kind of been known for like elite offenses, and now they've turned into like a defensive oriented team, whereas Charlotte now is a 3-point shooting high octane offense that wants to jack up a bunch of threes. It's just kind of funny, but I like Phoenix now. I don't think they're gonna make like a huge upset in the playoffs. Do I think they could give a team in the first round like a headache because of their defense? Yeah, I do think so. Um, it's gonna be fun to see this team like with Miles Bridges, but I would like to see how they do like with their rebounding with this team and how well they do. And Devin Booker is just gonna have to play better. I think if they want to see their full
I agree.
potential, Devin Booker
yeah.
offensively is gonna have to be better than he has been the last couple of years.
Well, with that being said, they need to get a point guard for that. Um,
Yeah.
just so D Book can be his best, he can't be the primary playmaker like he's been for the past fucking what 5 years, 4 years.
Yeah, he's not very good.
Yeah, and secretly they drafted Koa Pete,
He can be.
last pick in the first round, and because I really like their front court. Like I don't care how people view Dylan Brooks. Dylan Brooks is the equivalent of rookie KD. Convince me otherwise. If you've seen that tweet, if you know, you know. Um, you have Koa, you have Mark Williams, and you have Malawatch. And Malawatch is stashed in there. Malawatch is going to be the new Khalil Ware. Mark my words. Mark my words. That defensive front court for Phoenix is very sneaky good if Jornot can give a lot of minutes to everybody, and Koa can be this another explosive athlete just like Miles Bridges. So I like what they're doing there. I agree. They just need a point guard that can actually facilitate. Gillespie is good as a catch and shoot guy, but you're now losing your spacing. And you're trying to be a raw athlete team, which is cool. You just need, you know, guys to get people the ball.
I find it kind of interesting as well as like Miles Bridges played how many games with Mark Williams? I mean, it wasn't a lot, sure, but they know each other from Charlotte.
Yeah.
And it's like this could be very interesting.
I
Out
can
for
look
the
that up.
West. I think it's only like 50 games, maybe 80 max. I doubt that
Mm-hmm.
though.
I
Because
can go
Mark
look
will,
their stuff
yeah,
together.
yeah, yeah. Because Mark was injured for majority of his career there, so. But I definitely think it's interesting that um, sh- not Charlotte, Phoenix went out and got like kind of the misfits of the Hornets. I want to say, in my opinion,
Yeah,
even though
good
Miles
way to
isn't
put it.
considered a misfit, to me he kind of was because he didn't fit the structure of what Charlotte was going for. Um, Phoenix could definitely push a team to 7 in that first round now for sure. I'm moved. They're one of my dark horses for next year for like the top contenders as of right now. Gotta see how it
Mm-hmm.
works in the regular season. Charlotte, well, this gives them what Charles Lee wants, which is more 3-point shooters. I'm moved.
Yep.
Um, so yeah, no, I think it's gonna be very interesting on both ends to see fun kind of in a way. Especially Dylan Brooks and Miles Bridges, the instigator and I don't know. Who's the instigator on that team?
Dylan Brooks, I'll say.
Dylan Brooks.
So
Yeah.
Miles is
We'll go
just
with
the
Miles
asshole.
Bridges, the abusinator.
Abusing
21 days, 21 nights.
I I will say it looks like together they're at least it's slightly positive defensively together when they again it's very low amount of minutes, but I'm assuming that Phoenix is wanting again they just have to find a point guard. Defensively, Miles and Mark work together well. It looks like with their minutes in Charlotte.
Yeah,
So
no. Big news today coming out, what, 2 hours ago now? 3? Something like that?
yeah, just
John Morant getting traded to Portland. Um, what does this mean for the Trailblazers as a whole? Because this just points to a Memphis rebuild. Portland's just very interesting with what they're creating. What are your thoughts on the new Portland Trailblazers?
I think they're the hardest team to predict for going into next year. Just post injury, you don't know what you're going to get with John Morant. You don't know what you get with Damian Lillard. Um, Obviously they got John Morant for dirt cheap, but it's just interesting to see how John Morant and Damian Lillard work together. If they will even play many games.
Yeah.
I don't see them being much better than they were last year with John Morant now. But I mean, their ceiling is higher, their floor is not much lower. It's just a matter of will John Morant and Damian Lillard play.
Well, I mean, Dame won the 3-point contest, so we're moved.
yeah.
He's also almost 40 coming off a torn Achilles.
No, he's like 35.
Yeah, close enough to 40.
Crazy.
Jules, what are your thoughts here?
So a little bit higher than I think most people are on this trade because essentially, you didn't really give up anything for Ja, and Ja was like people were asking Memphis to attach a pick with him, and the fact that Memphis was able to get away with just giving away Ja, I think is a huge win amongst anything. Um, the bigger question to me is how the Trailblazers coach is going to utilize Dame, Ja, Scoot, and Shaden Sharp as their guards there, and certain lineups is going to be because the long term pairing is ironically Scoot and Ja, which that's a very athletic duo. You're talking about like Dylan Harper, Stephon Castle kind of stuff. They're gonna be tearing rims off if Ja stays healthy and is playing games there. Um, this also when Ty was talking about biggest winners and losers, the biggest loser in this, I think the two biggest losers in this actually is Cam Boozer, because that's now yet another set of players that just don't fucking help Cam Boozer at all. Jeremiah Grant's going to back up you. He's probably going to be his vet now. So I don't know how that dynamic is going to be. And Denny Advia, because he's a high usage small forward, now having to deal with John Morant, who has no off ball value as well. Damian Lillard, who I think is going to be primarily working a lot of off ball, which is cool. Scoot, who's hit or miss, and then a whole bunch of bad spacers. Like that sucks. And I kind of came around to the Denny Advia kind of stuff. Like I don't think he's a great player, but I do see um, some positive aspects about him. He still can't go left and all this kind of stuff, but I think there's some good processing stuff that I like out of him. Um, it's just very weird. Um, we're just have to kind of wait and see what their offense is going to be. I'll have some opinions once that comes out, but I'm fine with it because you basically got nothing. You know, you gave up nothing to get a low impact player, but we'll wait and see.
Got you. Adam.
I'm sort of in between Ty and Jules. I'm just sort of neutral on it. Like, I don't think this moves the needle all that much. Again, like Danny, like, how does that mix with a point guard who is not a very good shooter and has no off-ball value whatsoever? I think Jaw is like the fact that basically they just traded him for nothing says something about how people view him in the league. Like it's just like the fact that in this day and age, an athletic point guard can't shoot and has no off-ball gravity whatsoever is very concerning. I just like Portland. Like I don't think they got any better from this. I think the real losers from this once again as another fan base is the Memphis Grizzlies. Like again, another rebuilding situation. I feel bad for them. Like Ja was supposed to be like their franchise guy going forward, and it just went downhill because like he can't stay healthy, and also like his play is just it's not conducive to winning. So like I just feel bad for them. So like Portland, I don't think they really moved the needle that much, and I think Memphis just like again another rebuilding situation for them.
I got you, Adam. I'm kind of in the same boat as you, Adam, with it. I don't. To me, it's gonna be fun with the Scoot stuff with Jaw. I'm still heavily against the Jaw stuff as to Portland in a way. I'm just not high on Jaw as a whole, I guess. To me, he's just another Russell Westbrook variant. It's not like that's a full on bad thing, but to me, he just relies on his athleticism too much and doesn't have that jump shot he needs in order to keep a healthy career going into the future. Especially, like, I understand he's only, what, 26, 27?
Yeah.
But at the same time, when you've been 3 years down the road, 30, that's usually the start of the athletic decline, especially for the smaller athletic point guards in the league, where I'm just like I'm not moved on the variant of that type of point guard unless they develop a jump shot, which he still hasn't done, and he's been in the league for a decent amount of time now.
There's no excuse for that. Andre Drummond developed a jump shot. John Morant should figure it out.
Facts.
He realistically is. I think he has about 5 years before we really like. I
Welcome.
think
We'll
I
get
give
to
him
that
for
in a
like
second. Sorry, Adam.
No, I was just gonna say I think I give him 5 years, and then it's like Allen Iverson. Like once the athleticism goes, it goes. Like it's a finite amount of time for these type of guards.
To slightly push back on that, like, yes, he doesn't have a jump shot, but there's something there to where you're pairing him with Dame.
Oh, I agree.
And so I think that can, like, I think that's cool. But in terms of an effective offensive player, yes, the Trailblazers spacing is rather piss poor, but where should be valued at is at like a well above average playmaker that can still elevate big men, and they have Donovan Clingan there. And Clingan showed spurts of being a good, or at least a capable enough to shoot threes, and decent enough to be a play finisher. And now you're pairing him with Ja, because Ja did really good with Zach Edey in the limited time he had him.
Yeah.
Donovan Clingan is probably a better offensive version of Zach Edey. So I think that's a win, and that's where why I want to pump the brakes is because I'm not trying to defend him, but I think Ja is a good player. You just need certain things around him. They just need to get spacers, but I think he immediately elevates Dame, because now Dame gets to work off ball and slowly work himself back, because he's still a great 3-point shooter and he's going to be utilized as such. I think he can elevate Donovan Clingan as a play finisher and a spacing big, if that's going to be true or not. And you have sneaky athletes still around. I don't know if they get Matisse Thybulle back. I know he's going to be a free agent. You have good defenders. I mean, I'm not a Tamari Kamara fan, fake good defender, but Kamara is still there. If they're able to re-sign Robert Williams, Time Lord, that's decent. There's pieces there that I think Ja works well with, for the long term.
Well, my interesting thing about this is that to me this means Drew Holiday's on the trade block. Um,
which is interesting. Yeah.
so I'm really for Portland is what are you gonna get back from Drew in my opinion, especially as a 35-year-old who is known for being a defender. Drew, I mean,
Yeah,
the perimeter defense is still there with Drew, and we're seeing it. But I'm worried about the lateral quickness of Drew, with being on the perimeter and just the athleticism as a whole. The IQ's still gonna be there, but
has anyone piqued any interest in him?
Boston,
Any rumors? Boston?
Boston, but that's not necessarily it. You know what? Fuck it, Jules. Send him to Phoenix. They need a point guard. Send him to Phoenix.
No, send him to San Antonio. They need another defensive
guy. So I'm trying. So he's making about 35 mil this year.
What does De'Aaron Fox make?
50.
Fucking
What
twice as
the
much.
hell?
Oh, no.
So I don't know if some people would trade for him not because of his age, but he got hurt this year, so that might hurt his value. We'll kind of wait and see. I think that this could probably be the guy that does leave, but I think he still had really good value. I think he played really well against us in the first round.
I think when
so you could probably flip him for something.
Yeah, I think when he wasn't like even when he came back from injury, sure there was a small dip off, but he came back pretty fucking good and sure it took what 2 weeks to get back to where he was at the start of the season, but he looked really
Just about
fucking
maybe
good.
2 or 3.
Yeah, he looked really fucking good when he finally, was 100% again after the injury. I think that's interesting. I do feel for the Memphis Grizzlies losing who's supposed to be your franchise guy. But at the same time, I'm not a Ja Morant fan. Hate me all you want, Memphis. That's all I gotta say on that. Finally, I just want to get into the rumors on Jalen Duren, with him potentially being on the outs of Detroit. What are our thoughts, fellas, on Duren heading to another team? We'll just say another team. He's met with the Kings and he's met with and he's planning on meeting with LA. What are our thoughts? Who wants to start?
So
Um,
how did this start? I haven't even heard this story. So what got the Pistons to be like, well,
Detroit doesn't want to pay him.
Yeah, they're
oh, okay.
tentative to give him the
So,
max.
yeah, that
He's demanding like $40 million, and we just
He's-
saw Jalen. We just saw Jalen Duren playoff basketball. So
okay, so yeah, they saw. Gotcha.
to be fair, though, like I understand why he's asking for it.
He hit the
Because he's
accolades.
young. Yeah, he has the accolades and he's young, so he has some leverage. But at the same time, you got bitched by Wendell Carter Jr. and Jared Allen, so like that's not great.
Whoa, 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 whoa,
I
whoa, whoa! Pump the brakes there, real quick.
Mr. Game 7?
Jared Allen is a $35 million player.
Yeah, what happened in that third quarter of Game 7?
No.
That was for $35 million.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just saying he's a $35 million player, up to 40 million.
I understand. I understand, but Jared Allen got paid because of the Nets. It wasn't because of the Cavs. To be fair,
I know.
I think that this is like very weird. Hopefully hang on the rim. You're in the comment section of somewhere, someplace. Basketball fit wise, he fits both LA and Stack a lot. I actually like the Stack fit more. Him and Darius Acuff would be really, really good. My concern for being a Maxime Raymond Glazer is where he stands in all of this, because I don't know if he'll play the four there. He's shown some spacing, consistency, but I like him as a small ball five because he plays well above his height. I'm not mad at it if Dak goes Acuff, Duren, and do a sign and trade with Zach LaVine.
Yeah.
I think that could probably be. I like the sack stuff. I think it's interesting.
All right. We'll go down to Ty.
Yeah, well, obviously, luckily for the Pistons, Duren is a restricted free agent, so they can match whatever the max another team gives them.
Oh no, they're thinking of doing a sign and trade.
Well, yeah. Like I'm saying, they will get something back for Duren. Like they're not gonna. He's not gonna walk in free agency. They're not gonna not get something back in a trade. Unfortunately, I don't think they're gonna be able to sign him for less than 40 million. Teams are gonna offer him that. I'd assume the Lakers are, now that they didn't. LeBron is not looking to re-sign with them. It looks like. So Lakers will probably offer him a good amount of money. Detroit will either have to match that or they'll have to make something happen with a sign and trade. I think Gunnar mentioned a potential Sabonis sign and trade, right? I don't know if you want to get more into that. I don't know the details.
Earlier,
I just saw Dave McMiniman report that they're uninterested in doing a sign and trade. So
interesting.
Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah. So
You are. Oh,
Classic
you are a fucking
Detroit.
Laker, bro.
Classic
Oh
Detroit.
my god.
Classic
Duren's a fucking Laker. Duren's gonna be a Laker.
Classic
Wait,
Detroit.
hold on. Are they getting the second most dominant big man in the NBA? Uh-oh.
After
behind
DeAndre
Dominique.
Ayton.
They're getting dominating and
Wait a
burning
minute.
They're gonna go 82-0 in the regular season.
Right here. Let's go.
Jesus Christ, bro.
How much help does Luka need?
How much help does Dalton Connect need?
Oh no, my bad.
God.
Austin Reeves. Fellas.
Yeah, Austin Reeves. Yeah. Maybe Austin Reeves was like on the phone with Duren. He's like, "Hey, listen, I can get you on the Lakers."
Like, oh,
So
fuck.
gross.
This is actually
So
kind of
gross.
disgusting.
Yeah.
Um,
L Pistons. L Pistons.
actually, we got time for one more fucking trade rumor as well. Potentially a deal might be done later tonight for Kawhi Leonard, potentially back to the Toronto Raptors, fellows. Does this solidify Kawhi's retirement of his jersey in Toronto?
Yes. Yes.
Does this move us on Scotty Barnes' help?
Yes. Yes. Scotty. Okay, this is my take on this. This is only a W trade if Toronto keeps Colin Murray Boyles. Because now, if you get Kawhi, I'm super high on Allen Graves. I love his defensive motor. If you keep the Colin Murray Boyles, get Scotty, and give away like Brandon Ingram or it quickly. The only thing now is okay. Toronto just needs a legitimate point guard because you gave away quickly in this hypothetical. So okay, go sign somebody. But Scotty can run the one, so like that's cool. So you have a secondary ball handler. But now essentially you just need a real big because Jakob Poeltl is breathing air in Toronto, Canada. So this is fucking moving me. Toronto Raptors will be your Eastern Conference Finals representative if this
I'm
fucking
clicking
happens.
this.
I'm telling
There you go.
I'm
Let's
telling you.
go.
Kawhi Leonard to the Toronto Raptors is pissing every Eastern Conference fucking team off. Because last time Kawhi there, he put his nuts on everybody's fucking forehead and then left. So he's gonna do it again if he does
Would
this
Joel
shit. I'm
Embiid
telling you.
retire?
Let's
Let
go.
Joel Embiid retire.
He made Ben Simmons out. He got
Yeah.
Jimmy Butler the fuck out of there, right? He completely changed the whole discourse of the
Of the
East
East.
last time he was there. So, yes, if Kawhi goes to Toronto, sign me up. As a closeted Toronto Raptors fan, I am ecstatic. You just need to keep Colin Murray Boyles. If you do that, you're winning the fucking East. You might win the finals. Fuck it. I might cheer if Toronto faces San Antonio. I might cheer for Toronto. I'm not gonna lie.
Wow. Wow.
Kawhi made JJ Redick a New Orleans Pelican. Okay, so that's the real winner right there. Let's go.
I will cry real tears if this shit fucking happens and they keep calling Murray Boyles. I'm bro. If somebody else go, I
2019
might
all over again.
fucking.
No, it'd be
It's
2019
fucking
all over again.
clamps, dog. It's clamps.
Adam, what are your thoughts with this potential trade for Kawhi Leonard?
You know, as a man who once still rides a Toronto canoe, we might have to change the canoe to a battleship if they actually pull this off. This is going to be great. Let's push the Scotty Barnes agenda, top 10 player next year, with Kawhi Leonard. Oh my goodness. Dude, the defensive switching they're going to be able to do with him and Colin Murray. Oh, this is going to be fantastic. Now, I still have to represent the Pacers, but if I didn't have to cheer on the Pacers, this would be the team I would be cheering for next year. So watch out. If they pull this off, this is scary hours. I'm sorry, but this is going to be forward. The forwards on this team is going to be scary. They just have to get a point guard, and Jakob Poeltl, just get someone better than him. Just get rid of him. He's Scotty Barnes version. So you know
Literally.
what? I'm good with this. This is perfect.
Well, I'll get into my thoughts in a second. Ty, what are your thoughts on this potential trade?
Yeah, I can't give them much more praise that Adam and Jules already did. You're taking the canoe and you're just slapping on a big old motor. I think,
Literally.
yeah, they need a 1. They need a better 5 than Jakob. But, I mean, the foundation with Kawhi Leonard is there of a championship team. And I don't think anyone in the East is favored to beat them if they get Kawhi.
Yeah. They just need spacers and a 1.
Yep.
Well, hear me out, fellas. What if Jakob Poeltl's a part of that trade for Kawhi Leonard, just like 2019?
That would be funny.
Shit. Full circle.
What's good, hoops? We're about to finish up the pod. Yeah, no. I honestly think that this East could definitely be ran by Toronto if they do get Kawhi. I think this pairing with Scotty, this could help Scotty's development of a jump shot, which he's worked on developing. But we're talking about a mid-range god in Kawhi, which just would help his jump shot development a shit ton. I just the defense of this team too, from what we were seeing last year in Toronto and what they were able to do, this just adds on more. Sure, it's 36, 37-year-old Kawhi. He's still got it. I've seen it.
We saw that
He
last year.
gets to
with the
plant
Clippers.
trees in fucking Canada now. I'm moved.
Yeah.
He gets to plant trees in Canada, dog. International player. He did it in fucking LA. He did it in Compton. He's gonna do it in fucking Toronto, dog. The only thing that's like, fuck the suspension. Fuck Adam Silver. Don't fucking suspend this guy. Make him into the hired assassin that he was in 2019. Make him to do that shit again at the age of 35. One last round type of hitman type shit. That moves me on some narratives, dog. That moves me on some shit.
Toronto, pull this trade off. We want Toronto and the Knicks in a playoff series. I want to see it. Let's do it.
I
Let's
want
do it.
Kawhi to put his fucking if Kawhi bitches New York, oh, I'm letting every Knick fan fucking hear this.
Does that mean
Every Knick fan?
that means they blow up?
Gunner, who was the specific team that I wanted this Toronto Raptors team to play in the playoffs?
The Brits?
Yes. It was the Brits. And if they get Kawhi and they play each other and they win, oh boy, every Knicks fan going fucking hiding. Hey, I don't care. I might blow up a bus just like Knicks fans does. I don't know. I don't know.
Allegedly. Oh fuck. Anyways, fellas, I think that about ends the show here. As I pull up look at this graph. This is Rapham. This has been a wonderful, wonderful show today. We'll have more free agency talks a little bit next week. We'll also have our guest of Tony Styles on next week. We'll probably be going more into a little bit more all-time talk, a little bit of news here and there. Definitely talking about the Phoenix Suns as he is a Suns fan. Yeah. Thank you all for watching, and you have a wonderful, fantastic day.